Hi everyone, I'm here to talk about parenting and how parenting has an impact on our lives if you're a parent, and even if you're a guardian or you look after children full time. Parent is something that I class as very rewarding, but can be very challenging as well. So I wanted to really discuss this with you guys, how you see parenting yourself, what things you put in place with regards to parenting. Are you aware what you put in place through your um, understanding of being a parent? Do you feel that being a parent is to a certain age, and when they get to a certain age, it's okay now? They're adults now, so you don't need to play that parent role no more? Or do you see that parenting's all the way through their life and your life also? So we're just going to explore parenting a bit and really think about and reflect on your own parenting style, how you parent while I'm speaking, and or even if you haven't got children, if you were to be a parent, what things would you put in place? So that question, no one can tell you how to be a parent. What do you think about that question? Is it true? Has your life been like that, that no one could really tell you? They could guide you and they can give you certain information and their experiences. But when you think about it, can anyone really tell you how to be a parent? I'm a parent. I have two children. I have my firstborn who's 27 now, I think. Yeah, he's 27. And I have my youngest who is 20. And me being a parent for them, I feel like, this is my perception, I felt like it was two completely different chapters in my life. So my firstborn, I was young. I was 17 when I became pregnant, 18 when I had him. And for me, I was young. I was a teenager still. I did not know what I was letting myself in for. I learned from really my challenges of being a parent. I learned from my, I won't call them mistakes. I would not call them mistakes. But I learned from being so young as being a parent. I really learned from things that I weren't doing right, things that weren't working out, that I had to make changes with. That's what I learned from really guiding my firstborn. There was a lot of growth within myself that I still needed to do while being a parent. So I had to do like two things at the same time: grow myself, understand myself, and still be there for him, and still try to nurture him and allow him to find himself, of how he needed to find himself. I don't think I communicated well, definitely not. And that caused an effect on his growth, and that caused an effect on my growth as well. It was a learning process, and we got through it. My youngest child, who's now 20, for him, I was already growing. I was already learning when I became pregnant with him, and I was already on my spiritual path, and I was seeing life as a parent differently. So his upbringing was completely different to my firstborn. However, even though I see it as a separate chapters, they still became one as we got older and as we learnt to grow within ourselves. So going back to that question, no one can tell you how to be a parent. My mum helped me a lot. My family helped me a lot. But that didn't take away the fact that I had to do it myself. I had to learn myself. I had to go through experiences to know that for me, I got to a stage where I had to fix up as a mother, and I wanted to make changes. for myself. So can people teach you how to be a parent? I think they can guide you, but it's still going to be down to you in the long run. That is my perception, and that is what I see. Ways to learn and grow. So I want to share with you guys ways to learn and grow. One, I would say, is to learn from your experiences. Once you can learn from your experiences from being a parent, you can always make changes. Look at your past to your present. What changes can you make? Is there any changes? And sometimes the changes that we need to make as a parent comes from our children. We need to be able to listen to them. Yeah, listen to what they're saying, and to listen to others as well, and to listen to our inner self. You know, how can we learn? How can we grow? How can we be better at this? You know, how can we be better at this? It's okay to say sorry. It's okay to apologize to self with regards to being a parent. It's okay to say, I messed up at times and I didn't do the best that I could have done, because maybe we was going through things in life. You know, we had our own life to try and work out and to understand at the same time of being a parent. It's okay to apologize to self and forgive self. And it's okay to apologize to our children and say to them, I'm sorry. I apologize to how I was when I was younger, to how I am now. And I want to make changes. But I apologize. It's okay. It's never too late to make changes. I always say this, it's never too late to make changes. You could be a mother of 80 odd, you know, and you've got grandchildren now and great grandchildren, and you can still make changes as a parent. You can still choose to turn it around, yeah, and to allow that motherly growth to change form, or that fatherly growth to change form if you want to. It's okay, yeah? So that's just some of the questions that came to me when I wanted to do this talk on parenting. I feel parenting is something that no one can tell you this is the right way to do it, yeah? They can guide you and give you aspects of things that maybe can change, but you're going to have to want to do it yourself. You're going to have to want to see the importance of being a parent and how we can connect to our children in a way that is not just about us, but it's also about them as well. And this is no difference if you're adopted your children, if you're a guardian, and if you're a foster parent. I'm a foster parent of 3 children, and my parenting skills, if anything, it's grown, and it's even better than how it was with my children, because I've learned and I've grown, and I'm able to see things that I couldn't see when I was younger, you know, and that's okay, because we're here to grow. And it's okay to know that we've messed up at times. Once we're able to see it for what it is and make changes and be able to grow within that. This section is going to be about my children. So what I've done, I spoke to them and I said that I'm going to be doing this talk on parenting. I speak to them about parenting a lot. I even now, even though they're young people and they're young men, I still want to ask them, like, how can I be better as a mother? What else can I do? What can I put in place for them? Just so I can see where they're coming from as me being a mother and a parent, because I think it's ongoing and I want my growth to continue to grow as a parent. I do see myself more of a spiritual guide to them now than that motherly role, because I want that freedom to be within our relationship. I want them to go out and find themselves. and go through their experiences, what they need to go through. Yes, they're going to do things that they're going to learn. They're going to have to learn. And it's going to be things that they're going to look back and think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. By me doing that, I was able to learn this though. And they need to learn that for themselves, and I want them to. So I'm more of a spiritual guide to them now. If they need that motherly energy from me, they will have that. Other than that, I'm a constant spiritual guide to them. So I asked them to write something down of what they've learned. And I wanted it to be in the moment of how they saw our relationship and what they learned from me being a mother. So this is what they said. So for my firstborn, he's put, the words love and hate do not equate to the feelings of life I have from you. I feel I am the male version of you. You've been a part of my life, which I appreciate the life you have given me. I have learnt to let go and forgive and to feel with my soul upon others with all my heart. Now that is from him. That's how he sees our relationships and what we've learned from our journey so far. And that's his perspective of what he's learned. This is from my last born. I have learned from my mother, what I have learned from my mother, is to try to always have a positive outlook on things and to not overthink too much in certain situations. So what you have here is two different people's concept of how they see this one mother. And this is what parenting is about sometimes, especially when you have more than one children, more than one child, you're able to see different concepts and different perceptions of how they see the relationship and how they see you as a parent. And that's a good thing, because you're able to identify them as an individual and identify their needs of what they need with being an individual, growing in this earthly world, and being a child and having parents, and how to communicate and how to grow that relationship as a child and parents, how to grow that relationship. So I love that from them. I love that they were able to share that and give their input. Now, I asked some people to give some questions while for this video, and I've got it here in a little tub, if you want to call it that, and I'm going to read them out and share my answer to the questions, and you guys can think about the answer as well, what you would think, or how you would answer the questions. So here we go. So the first one is, what important lessons have you learnt from being a parent? What important lessons have you learnt? Definitely, I've learnt to communicate more with my children. Growing up, I found it challenging and quite difficult to communicate with myself, much less communicating with my children. And that was a learning progress for me. It was something that I had to put into my everyday journey to communicate with my children. So here is my second question. What ways do you communicate to your children? What ways do you communicate to your children? I communicate many ways. I like to communicate through my dreams, funny enough. Especially with my first child, we went through a stage where he was finding himself on his journey. I was finding myself on my journey. And for us to communicate, for me, was by communicating with him through dreams. So I would connect with him through dreams. I would get dreams that will show me signs and show me things that I might need to go to him with, or it might show me things that will tell me how we're growing with together as parents and child. And so that really worked for us, communicating through dreams, communicating in a spiritual way. So for instance, me and my children, all the time I might be thinking of them, then they're thinking of me at the same time, or they might just call me and I was just thinking about them, or I had a thought where I was speaking to them spiritually and then they just call. So it's not just about communicating through words. I communicate with them spiritually also, and that really works for myself and my children. Communicating through the spiritual realm is very good for me. And the last question is, was the transition from a young mother easy? No, it was really challenging for me. I didn't realize in becoming a young mother what it would entail. I didn't realize that I would have been growing at the same time, or bringing a child into the world, and by doing that, something's going to have to give. Something's going to have to give to be able to be growing at the same time as bringing a child into the world. And that really is any age, but I'm just going by me being so young, that the cause and effect that it had on us as a family, you know, to identify your understanding of being a parent, and what to do and what not to do, and when to be patient, and when to go forward as a parent. So that was quite challenging, but I found it very productive and beautiful, because it allowed me to really find out who I was as a person, and it really made me learn to accept who I was then and who I am now and who I'm going to continue to be. So yeah, this was a good question. Thank you guys. So this is the ending of this talking about parenting. How is parenting for you? How is it for you? How was it for you? And is there anything that you still want to put in place? You know, is there still learning, growth that you need to do for yourself as a parent? And this is the fathers as well. I'm not disregarding the fathers here. I want the fathers to think about how you are, how you were as a parent, and what changes do you need to do as a parent. Think about that. Until next time.